Ziggy the Zebra, embracing your true stripes.
In a peaceful meadow, nestled between rolling hills and whispering trees, there lived a zebra named Ziggy. Ziggy was no ordinary zebra. From the moment he was born, he harbored a dream to become something magical, something extraordinary. You see, Ziggy wanted to be a unicorn. He envisioned himself galloping through the clouds, spreading joy and magic wherever he went. Determined to make his dream a reality, Ziggy tried everything he could think of to become a unicorn. He tried balancing a stick on his forehead, hoping it would magically transform into a horn. He even painted stripes on his body, trying to hide his zebra stripes and blend in with the unicorns. And he spent hours practicing graceful movements, hoping to emulate the elegance of a unicorn's prance. But no matter how hard he tried, Ziggy couldn't quite transform himself into a unicorn. Feeling disheartened, Ziggy wandered off into the meadow, his dreams shattered and his spirit dampened. That's when he encountered an old and wise owl named Ollie.
What seems to be troubling you, young Ziggy?
Oh, it's nothing really. I wanted to be a unicorn, but I'm just a plain old zebra.
Ah, but my dear Ziggy, being a zebra is something special too. You see, Ziggy, each stripe on your coat tells a story. Each one is unique, just like you.
And in that moment, Ziggy understood that he didn't need a horn to be special. He was already special, just the way he was. From that day forward, Ziggy embraced his stripes and his uniqueness, spreading joy and laughter throughout the meadow. And though he never became a unicorn, Ziggy knew that he was something even better. He was a one-of-a-kind zebra. And so, dear friends, remember that it's okay to dream big, but never forget to embrace who you are, for that is where true magic lies. Nico and the Friendly Bear, a tale of courage and friendship.
Once upon a time, in a lush forest, lived a brave young boy named Nico. He loved exploring the woods, but one day he encountered a fearsome creature. Deep in the heart of the forest, Nico stumbled upon a dark cave. Out of the shadows emerged a huge growling bear.
Whoa! A bear! Stay back!
Nico and the bear stood face to face, growling fiercely. It seemed like they were about to have a big fight.
I'm not afraid of you, bear. I'll fight if I have to.
But just as they were about to charge, Nico noticed something surprising. The bear's eyes weren't filled with anger but sadness.
Wait, why do you look so sad, Mr. Bear?
Putting aside his fear, Nico cautiously approached the bear. He saw that the bear had a thorn stuck in its paw, causing it great pain.
There, all better. I'm sorry for trying to fight you. I didn't realize you were hurt.
Grateful for Nico's kindness, the bear nuzzled him affectionately. It was as if the bear was saying thank you for helping. From that day on, Nico and the bear became the best of friends. They explored the forest together, sharing adventures and laughter. And so, Nico learned that sometimes the scariest creatures can become the best friends. All it takes is a little kindness and courage. The end! Thanks for joining Nico and the Friendly Bear on their heartwarming journey. Remember, kindness can turn enemies into friends.
Finding Sunshine, a story of hope and healing.
Meet Sunny, a cheerful girl who loved to play and laugh. But one day, something happened that made her world feel a little less sunny. Sunny felt a big, heavy feeling in her heart. It was called grief, and it made her feel sad and lonely. But even in the midst of sadness, Sunny remembered something important. She remembered all the happy memories she shared with someone she loved. Sunny realized that even though that special someone was gone, she would always have those special memories to cherish. And so, Sunny decided to find ways to cope with her feelings of grief. She talked to her family and friends about how she was feeling, and they listened and hugged her tight. She also found comfort in doing things that made her happy, like drawing pictures, playing outside, and spending time with her pets. Slowly but surely, Sunny began to feel a little better. The heavy feeling in her heart started to lift, and she began to see rays of sunshine peeking through the clouds. Sunny learned that it's okay to feel sad and to miss someone you love. But it's also important to remember the happy times and to find ways to keep their memory alive. And so, with each passing day, Sunny found more sunshine in her life, knowing that her special someone would always be in her heart. The end. Thanks for joining Sunny on her journey of hope and healing. Remember, even on cloudy days, there's always sunshine to be found.
Rosie the Kiwi bird finds her voice. In a beautiful forest in New Zealand, there lived a tiny kiwi bird named Rosie. Rosie was very small and often felt unnoticed among the other animals. She wished she could find a way to be heard and make a difference. Every day, Rosie tried to join in the fun with the other animals, but no one seemed to notice her. She felt very lonely and wondered how she could make her voice heard. One day, as Rosie sat feeling sad, a friendly butterfly named Bella fluttered by. Bella noticed Rosie's sadness and asked her what was wrong. Rosie explained that she wished the other animals would notice her, but no matter what she did, it was like she was invisible. Bella thought for a moment and then had an idea. She suggested that Rosie try using her voice to express herself. Rosie was hesitant at first, worried that her voice was too quiet and that no one would listen. Bella assured Rosie that everyone has a voice, and it's not about how loud you are, but about having the courage to speak up. Bella encouraged Rosie to share her thoughts and feelings, saying she might be surprised at how much others would listen. Rosie decided to give it a try. She practiced speaking up, telling herself that her voice mattered, just as much as anyone else's. Day by day, her confidence grew. One day, the animals gathered for a meeting. Rosie felt nervous, but remembered Bella's words. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. The animals turned to listen, surprised but attentive. Rosie's voice was small, but it carried confidence. She spoke about how they could work together to make the forest a better place for everyone. Rosie suggested that the animals could help each other by sharing food, building shelters together, and looking out for one another when someone was in trouble. The animals listened to Rosie's words and realized she was right. They thanked her for her wonderful ideas and promised to work together to create a better community. And so, Rosie the Kiwi bird learned an important lesson, that believing in herself and using her voice, she could make a difference and be truly herself.
Macy the Dolphin's Big Heart, a story of true treasure. In the clear blue waters of Florida, there lived a young dolphin named Macy. Macy was full of energy and always ready for an adventure. She dreamed of doing something great, something that would make her stand out. One day, Macy's friend Coral the clownfish told her about the legendary Pearl of Fame, hidden deep inside a mysterious cave. The pearl was said to bring great fame to anyone who found it. Macy's eyes sparkled. This was her chance to achieve something truly special. Macy was ready to dive into the challenge, but then her friend Sammy the sea turtle approached her. Sammy needed help guiding a group of young turtles through a tricky current. It was a big responsibility, and Sammy couldn't do it alone. Macy was caught in a tough decision. If she helped Sammy, she would have to give up her chance to find the Pearl of Fame. But if she went after the pearl, the young turtles might not make it safely. Macy thought long and hard. In the end, she knew what she had to do. She chose to help Sammy and the young turtles, even though it meant giving up her dream of finding the pearl. Macy's decision wasn't easy. But as she watched the young turtles safely reach their home, she felt a deep sense of joy. She knew she had made the right choice. Later, Macy learned that the dolphin who found the Pearl of Fame had become lost in fame, forgetting about their friends. But Macy realized that through helping others, she had gained something even more valuable: wisdom. The wisdom to understand that true success isn't about fame, but about the choices we make and the hearts we touch. Macy's sacrifice taught her that sometimes giving up something for others brings the greatest rewards of all. And from that day on, Macy knew that the wisdom she gained was far greater than any Pearl of Fame.
Snugsy's cozy surprise, deep in the heart of Willowburrow Forest, where the trees sway gently and the grass feels like the softest of blankets, lives a little bunny named Snugsy. She's the fluffiest, snuggliest bunny around, with fur mostly grey and a tiny patch of white around her nose and mouth. If there's something soft to be found, Snugsy's twitching nose will sniff it out. A warm mossy patch is perfect for a nap. A pile of crisp autumn leaves is ideal for a good roll. And on chilly mornings, she wraps herself in her most treasured possession, a big woolly scarf knitted by her grandma, soft, warm, and smelling of home. But one crisp morning, disaster strikes. Snugsy can't find her scarf. Her little grey paws twitch with worry as she mutters to herself,
Oh dear, I had it last night. But where could it be?
And so her search begins. Snugsy hops to her favourite resting spot under the big oak tree. But all she finds there is a squirrel's forgotten acorn sitting lonely in the dirt. Next, she scampers to the hollow log where she sometimes naps in the afternoons. Inside, there's nothing but a sleepy beetle, resting quietly. Undeterred, Snugsy bounds to the meadow where wildflowers grow tall, hoping the wind hasn't carried her scarf away. Instead, she finds her best friend, Willa the squirrel, surrounded by a pile of nuts. Willa has seen something fluffy near the berry bushes earlier that day and points Snugsy in that direction with a helpful nod. Snugsy bounces toward the berry bushes, her little paws barely brushing the ground. When she arrives, she stops short, her nose wiggling in astonishment. There, in the middle of the bushes, is her scarf, bundled up into a tiny nest. And inside, nestled deep within its warm folds, is a tiny baby bunny, fast asleep. Snugsy's eyes widen as the little bunny lets out the smallest squeak and curls up tighter into the woolly softness.
Oh my whiskers!
Her grey fur puffs up in surprise. Soon, Willa and a few other forest friends gather nearby, their eyes sparkling with amusement at Snugsy's stunned expression. They'd found the baby bunny all alone in the meadow that morning, shivering in the cold. Snugsy's scarf had been lying nearby, so they'd wrapped him up in it to keep him warm. Snugsy peers down at the tiny bunny, her heart swelling with a warmth that outshines even her coziest scarf. She kneels down, her grey nose gently nuzzling the little one.
Well, if my scarf kept him warm, then I think he should keep it.
The forest friends seem to glow with delight. The baby bunny lets out a happy little squeak, snuggling deeper into his newfound treasure. From that day on, Snugsy, the mostly grey bunny with a white nose and mouth, has a new favourite thing to snuggle. Not a scarf, not a soft patch of grass, not even a pile of leaves. She has a little brother, and that's the coziest surprise of all. The end.
The fish that took forever. Down by the old family pond, where the water twinkled like a sheet of glass, lived two brothers who couldn't resist a sunny day. The younger one was Tanner, nicknamed Tadpole because he bounced around like a frog with a secret. His big brother, Colton, was the steady type, always carrying his fishing pole like it was part of him. One crisp morning, with the sun spilling gold across the sky, Tanner jumped out of bed with a wild idea. He was set on catching a fish all by himself. Colton followed along, ready to see what his little brother's big plan would stir up. The boys crunched through dewy grass to the pond, the air alive with summer hums. Tanner had seen Colton fish for years, pulling in perch, sunnies, even a bass that made their jaws drop. He puffed up his chest and vowed to catch one faster than his brother ever had. He flopped onto the bank, hurled his line in with a splash that echoed and jiggled like he'd sat on a beehive. He tugged the line back, nothing but drips. He cast again, harder, sending waves racing. His shouts rattled a pair of turtles sunning on a log, and they plopped into the water with grumpy little splashes. 5 minutes passed, no nibbles. Tanner jerked his line up, scowling at the empty hook. He muttered and kicked a pebble into the water, watching it sink. 10 minutes, still nothing. He stomped hard, and a frog leaped into the reeds for safety. Colton watched, cool as ever, while Tanner splashed and fussed. One last cast, loud enough to send a duck flapping off in a huff, but the pond stayed silent. Worn out, Tanner flopped onto his back, staring at the clouds, his big fish dream slipping farther away than the horizon. Colton slid closer and tapped Tanner's shoulder. He pointed at the water, where tiny ripples danced like secrets. Tanner sat up, still grumpy, but listened as Colton explained. He showed how yanking the line scared the fish away, how splashing made them hide. "You've got to be soft," Colton said, "and let the bait sit still. Fish like a quiet friend, not a noisy storm." Tanner scrunched his nose. Waiting sounded dull, but he trusted his big brother. So he took a deep breath, copied Colton's gentle cast, and sat still, watching the water shimmer while a ladybug crawled across his sneaker. Time stretched slow, and Tanner's fingers itched to pull. But he remembered Colton's words and held tight, eyes locked on his line. Then, plink, it quivered. His heart thumped like a rabbit's foot, but he didn't rush. He reeled slow and smooth, just like Colton's technique. Up popped a fish, not a giant, but a shiny minnow, glinting like a silver star. Tanner let out a yell that shook the trees, and Colton flashed a grin wide as the pond. That little minnow was a treasure, caught because Tanner learned from his big brother. That day, Tanner discovered something big. Rushing might feel fast, but waiting and learning from Colton made the prize shine brighter. That minnow wasn't just a catch. It was proof he could be patient, thanks to his brother's lesson. And at supper, Tanner told the story with a grin that lit up the room. Colton promised they'd catch two next time, side by side. And Tanner? He couldn't wait. But now he knew waiting, with a little help from his big brother, was the secret to the best days.